As we're finishing our semester abroad, Katie and I were in Spain and Megan was in London, and we were planning our trip for the next 3 weeks after our semesters ended. And we knew we were going to go to Germany, so we had planned to go to St. Walburg Abbey in Eichstatt, Germany.
I'm staying for 3 days in Munich, and we were staying with the Benedictine community there, Comunidad Venio, and we decided that we wanted to take a day trip out to see the Benedictine community at Eichstatt. So we had emailed the sisters at Eichstatt, and we had heard back from them, and they said that they were going to be able to have us come, and they'd give us a tour and welcome us into their community.
And so they did. They welcomed us and gave us a whole history of the things that had been of importance in the St. Walberga Monastery's history. And they fed us lunch and just gave us a wonderful tour of their grounds and their church, which was absolutely beautiful.
And we decided that we wanted to go to the Abbey in St. Walberga because when we first came here as freshmen, during orientation we learned about the history of St. Ben's, and we've learned a little bit more throughout our time here. And we were just captivated by the history of these strong women who started the school, so we really wanted to learn more about the Abbey and its history.
And tell me a little bit about the importance of St. Walberga, who she was.
Well, St. Walberga founded... she was originally from England, and she and her brothers were sent as missionaries to Germany to start Benedictine communities. So she had started one of the first Benedictine communities in Germany, and the subsequent community in Eichstatt was founded in her name. She was a typical German woman. She was just very rotund and cheerful and had this great laugh, a great sense of humor, and so welcoming. And English was clearly not her first language, so when she would tell jokes, we weren't ever quite sure if she was actually joking or not. But when they offered to bring us down to lunch, we said, you know, we would love that. And she said, okay, well, we're going down to the dungeon where we will give you stale bread and bad water and bad soup. And we all just kind of looked at her like, oh.
And then another one of our favorite stories was we actually had the opportunity to travel with two of our friends who are from St. John Vianney's Seminary at the University of St. Thomas, and they traveled with us, and we met with them in Munich. And one of the things that, our first introduction with the Mother Abbess, she sat down and she wanted to know a little bit about us and how we met up with these seminarian friends. And she asked us where we had met all together in Germany. And we all looked at each other because we were trying to figure out a way to answer this question, because we actually met at the Hofbrauhaus, which is a beer garden. So we were trying to figure out, we were going to say maybe we met for dinner, you know, kind of a nice way to put it. So, but all of us were kind of looking at each other, and one of our seminarian friends says, oh, well, we met at the Hofbrauhaus. And we all looked at him.
And both the Mother Abbess and Sister Angela were just kind of silent, and we were like, oh dear. But then she said, and did you have something to drink?
No, she broke the silence with this huge laugh. She broke out into this huge laugh, and we're like, okay, good. And then she asked if we had something to drink, so she had a good sense of humor, and definitely made us wear that one out for a little bit.
And one of our other favorite stories about the Mother Abbess is at the end, before we were leaving, we all decided to line up and take pictures. And of course, we decided we wanted pictures with the Mother Abbess. But then at the end, the Mother Abbess decided she wanted pictures with the seminarians as well. So she lines the seminarians up, one on either side of her, and she puts her arms around them like this, and she says, "You're never going to get this again." So overall, just the personality of the Mother Abbess, and the fact that despite the fact that she was wearing a full habit, that her personality just shone through. It was just so outstanding to see that.
Well, one of the big things that just surprised us all was that we went there, and at least for me, I was expecting it to be kind of its own little community, one that had been separated from St. Ben's for a long time, so I just expected it to be its own community and for us to go there and just kind of see what it's like and maybe draw some connections. But something that was really interesting for me was that the College of Saint Benedict and the monastery here was still very, very important to the sisters there. They still felt a very strong connection and still keep contact with the sisters here today. So that was something that was just very impressive.
Yeah, and as Katie mentioned earlier, we had been staying in Munich with another Benedictine community, but the hospitality that we received at both places was just incredible. We simply sent them emails in English, hoping that they would understand and ask them, for a tour or a place to stay, and mention that we were students here at the college. Not even that we were, considering monastic life or anything, but they were just so willing to welcome us because of our association with this college, and we were so grateful to have that background and the community to come home to.
Overall, we just really enjoyed, like Megan was saying, the Benedictine sense of hospitality. We could really see from the moment we entered the monastery how they live out the Benedictine rule and how they follow the fact that they're supposed to welcome all guests as Christ, because we all felt like we were welcomed as though we were Christ. Anything from the big smiles they had on their faces, to the time they spent showing us around, to the incredible meals they gave us, just showed us that these people were what everyone is called to be in the welcoming attitude and atmosphere that we are supposed to create for others, and just the love that we're supposed to have for people in Christ. It was an incredible experience.